Hey, church family, Pastor Garin here. Hope you're doing well today. I'm outside and it is a rainy day. As you can tell, I'm not quite brave enough to be actually out in the rain. I think my phone would be all right. I'm not sure. I've still got my rain jacket on. I'm out here by the Little Free Pantry, which I think I might need to restock here just a little bit. But it's kind of one of those days where you just look outside and you go, ick, you know? It's maybe good for soup or chili or something like that. It made me think of this thing that I've been working on. I have a friend who's a professor at Wingate University over in Monroe, and she asked me if I would come via Zoom and lead a chapel for some of their students. So I've been working on that, and my topic that I've been working on for them is God's will. That's something you can summarize in just a little bit, huh? Not at all, right? It's really super complicated. And one of the things that I've been thinking about this topic of God's will is when I look outside, some of us kind of, I think, get the impression about God's will that God's will is just like that little rain cloud that follows Charlie Brown around. You know what I mean? Did you ever see that? The rain cloud that maybe even everywhere else is sunny, but, you know, for Charlie Brown, it's always raining on his head. And I think some of us think about God's will in such a way that we think, gosh, God's just got it out for me. When it rains, it pours, if I can use that statement, and times are just tough. And I guess as I've been thinking about that, I don't necessarily think that there's always one thing that God has in mind just for us. I think God's will is maybe broader than that, and I look forward to sharing that with the students here in a few nights in our thing that we're doing together. But what if God's will were more general and less specific? You know, Jesus himself said it rains upon both the just and the unjust. And I think that the difference for Christians is, and this is hopeful, so check this out, is that what Paul says in Romans 8:28 really is true. That God is always working all things for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. Now, I don't need to tell you that means that things will always be great. I think it's a misinterpretation maybe of Jeremiah 29:11 to think that, you know, God has plans for us and won't harm us and to give us hope in a future. Well, I think that's true in a broad sense, but we all know that life is hard. It was hard for Jesus. He was crucified. And that's what we're studying here in this season of Lent. But I think what Paul is saying in Romans chapter 8 is that even when things are tough, even when we're in the midst of the pandemic, even when it's raining, not only just outside, but it feels like that it's raining on top of our heads, that for those of us who trust in God, that God is working behind the scenes, always, to bring about that which is good. I trust in that today. I have hope in that today. And I hope that maybe in some ways, if you're having a hard time or you're just kind of find yourself down in the dumps recently, that you could hold on to those words from Paul, that God is working all things for good. God's will is not a specific thing that times will be hard, but in general, God's will for us is that we would participate in the life that he has for us, when it's good and when it's bad, knowing that in the end, it will all be worth it. And we will all find ourselves at home with the Lord who loves us. Hey, come and join us this Sunday as we continue to share good news just like that. We're going to be sharing communion this Sunday, so bring your elements, crackers, juice, wine, bread, whatever you have. And we'd love to have you come and join us 11 a.m. on Sunday. It's going to be a great day. Thanks for giving us a few moments of your time today, and I can't wait to be with you soon. Take care. God bless.